Hello, my name is Bill Madigan, one of the creators of EduGameStar, and I'd like to welcome you to our question and answer series where I try to answer your questions about EduGameStar and how digital educational therapy is used to treat dyslexia. Today's question comes from Gwen from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Gwen asks, what exactly does the name EduGameStar stand for? And how is the program used and what are its ultimate goals? Well, Gwen, because EduGameStar is such a unique and progressive educational program, I'm asked that question a lot. So let's begin with what the name EduGameStar actually stands for.
The EDU, or EDU, in EduGameStar stands for Educational, which is the core of the program. Our goal is to help people of all ages learn things and build skills that they have not been able to build or learn before, either in school or life. These phonological, cognitive, and reading skills are critical and must be in place before someone can learn to read. So, one of the key areas that EduGameStar focuses on is the building of educational skills. The game in EduGameStar stands for gamification, which is the process of transforming something into an entertaining and engaging format without losing the benefits of what the educational process was to begin with. Gamification is widely regarded as a viable tool to help people acquire and learn information that otherwise would be boring. Gamification also has the benefit of being multisensory or isosensory, as the case may warrant. Gamification has been used for centuries. Think about singing the alphabet. This is a very basic form of gamification. With the advent of computers and video games, gamification exploded and is now being used in most occupations, including government and industry. Gamification has not yet become widespread in formal education, but is well known to children and parents alike in the form of educational video games. EduGameStar is the first platform to use gamification to deliver educational therapy that addresses all the cognitive and phonological skills required for reading and the application of those skills to teach fluent reading. Although some might think that our games are retro or old school, it's important to remember that all our games are specifically designed for very specialized purposes, and as such cannot go completely over the top and still be fully effective. That is why we don't look like some of the games you see on your Xbox.
Okay, so we have education and gamification. So we are teaching something, in this case, phonological and cognitive skills, as well as reading. And we're doing that teaching in a fun and exciting way. Now that leaves us with STAR. And of course, we would like all of our players to be STAR readers. But there's more to it than that. So let's look at what the S, T, A, and R stands for in EduGameStar.
The S in EduGameStar stands for the skills that are needed for reading. These skills fall into 8 general areas, each of which is critical to learning how to read and the reading process. In EduGameStar, each of these areas is represented by an EduGameStar mentor. I encourage you to learn more about each of these areas at edugamestar.com. The fact that EduGameStar builds phonological, cognitive, and reading skills in all the areas of weakness is one of the main reasons that we are so successful in helping people to read where they have failed before. Try to keep in mind that each of us is different, and the causes of having difficulty learning to read vary from individual to individual. It's also important to remember anyone, regardless of age, can learn to read once they have the proper skills. Let EduGameStar provide you with the skills you need. The T in EduGameStar stands for training or therapy, which differs a little bit from typical classroom instruction. In order to build neural pathways in the brain that as yet do not exist, appropriate skills training must begin at a basic level in all areas and move to a more advanced or higher level only when the individual is capable at the lower level. Educational therapy is very much like physical training or therapy to help a stroke victim. There is no point in moving past something that is an area of weakness because everything from that point forward would be built on a weak foundation. So unlike a classroom teacher who must move forward at a specific time, regardless of where the students are, a good educational therapy program, such as EduGameStar, moves at the pace of the individual who is receiving the therapy. The A in EduGameStar stands for acquisition, meaning that the individual has to come away from this process getting and keeping critical, cognitive, and phonological skills. EduGameStar is dedicated to bringing literacy to adults and children that can be used for their entire lives. Once someone builds all the skills that they need to become a fluent reader, that ability stays with them for life and becomes something that they can be proud of and enjoy. Finally, the R in EduGameStar stands for reading, which is of course the ultimate goal of the program. There is no question that reading and writing are even more critical today than they have ever been, and that the success of every one of us depends on how well we can read and write. We are very proud of the fact that EduGameStar players become fluent readers and hope to share this success with everyone.
At EduGameStar, we believe we provide the most efficient and cost-effective form of sequenced educational therapy available today. For the first time, educational therapy through EduGameStar is available to everyone, regardless of financial situation or location. It's our goal at EduGameStar to bring literacy to the 50 million Americans who have been excluded from that process because they lack certain skills, and to help those people lead more productive and happy lives. Well, there you have it, EduGameStar, the educational gamification of skills training for the acquisition of reading. Now that's quite a mouthful. If I were you, I'd try to remember EduGameStar, where reading skills are born. Well, Gwen, I hope that answers your question and that this information has been informative and helpful to our other viewers. I encourage you all to please send us your questions so that we can answer them in future videos. Until the next time, I'd like you to remember this. Everyone, regardless of their age, can be a fluent reader. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.